Good morning, everybody. Lovely to see you here. How's everyone this morning? Did you all have a great weekend? I had a very quiet weekend, didn't do very much at all, but I like those weekends. So today, what have we got today? Sunshine, clouds, looks like it may rain, don't know. So I haven't got to do any washing today, so that's good. Alrighty, so actually I did forget something. I'll bring it in for tomorrow, and I'll leave it for now. But yeah, so okay, today I'm going to be doing a diorama card, and I suppose I left that out there as well, didn't I? Let me have a look. See, here's me thinking I'm all ready this morning. So, diorama cards. So, what is a diorama? A diorama is depicting a scene or a story looking through a peephole or a window or something like that. And it's usually in 3 dimension. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. So I've got several different ones that I wanted to do. So I thought, well, hi Sue, how are you? Hi Susan. Sunny Melbourne today. Wow, awesome. Yeah, we've got a bit of sunshine. Anyway, and I'm in short sleeves today, so it's not too cold at the moment, but that could change in a heartbeat. We all know that. Okay, so yeah, so diorama cards this week. I thought, well, I can't show 3 or 4 or 5 in in one hit, so I thought I would do them one at a time. So I think it might be going to take a wee bit longer this morning. So I'm going to go straight, or go straight down to the desk. There we go. And our little quote for today: behind you, all your memories; before you, all your dreams; around you, all who love you; and within you, all you need. And we all have everything we need in us. It's all there. We just have to pull it out. Card of the month circle, $30 pickup or $35 by post. You receive a pack containing an instructional PDF, all cardstock and DSP ready cut to make 4 beautiful cards. We do need requirement. I think I might be talking a different language today. Hi Suzanne, how are you? We do need payment by September the 25th, and you will receive your pack during October. And I'm still working on that, just doing the PDF. So bear with me on that. I had a look at it yesterday, and it is a nice quote, isn't it? It just reminds us that we don't need to look at outside influences to make ourselves happy. We actually have everything that we need within us to do that. Alrighty, so there we go. And there is, I have put up a card class for anyone who's on my Facebook page. You'll see it. Oh, Julie, is it raining? Oh no, it's great to see you on here. Thanks for joining us. So Julie's on Facebook. You can't see her, those of you on YouTube, but Julie's a very good friend of mine over there. And you may know that my cousin is Andrew Browning, who he does George Michael. He's a tribute to George Michael, and he does absolutely wonderful shows. So if you ever get a chance, and Julie is the lady who helps him, takes him around, and does so much for him. So we're all very, very grateful for Julie, and it's lovely to have you here, Julie. Thank you. Oh, Sheila, good morning. How are you? Oh, Mum, you're there. Better late than never. I didn't know if you'd be on this morning. I thought you might be out shopping. Okay, so we're going to do a diorama card, and hopefully, let me find my destructions, because I will need my destructions. Oops. I have sheets of paper here, literally sheets and sheets of paper. And that's that one. Oh, that's it there. Excellent. All right, just so that I've got the measurements on hand. Now, you are going to need to have 12 by 12 paper for this. So, a card. So, I've got the, you can see we've got the two-tone paper. I don't know if that shows up very well on the camera, but we have, so today I'm using early espresso, and I think it's basic beige. Pretty sure it's basic beige. So yeah, that's what I'll, there it is there. Basic beige. Yeah, basic beige and early espresso today, because that will go with what I'm doing. Oh, here we go. We're going to go silly. There, that's better. Isn't it funny how it does? Why does it do that sometimes? That's really weird. Nope. Okay, we'll just get started, and hopefully it'll sort itself out while we're going. So I am going to be using the autumn trees as well. I've had fun playing around with this, so we'll just see how we go. So my base card is going to be the early espresso. My top part is going to be in the basic beige. Originally, I was going to do it in the vanilla, but of course, A4 cardstock isn't big enough for that. So basic beige it is. Look, that is so silly how that keeps going in and out of focus. Good morning, Sheila. Okay, so let's go. All right, so our first, we're going to do the base first, and once we've cut the base, we're done with it for a while. So the base is actually cut at 12 by 6. So straight away we're going to need the extension arm. And so we're going to go 12. And it is just going to fit. I think it might take a smidgen off. There we go. And I suppose now that is stuck in my, there we go. And we're going by 6 inches. And then that's going to be scored at 6 inches. Let's get that cutting blade out of the way before I make a big boo-boo. There we go. So that's going to be our base card. Okay. Just, where'd that bone folder go? There's one. That's the other side. I just want to burnish that so that we've got that there like that. So that's our base card. Now for, so when I ask you all later, I put the base card behind me, okay? Because you know what I'm like. And then we have to do the next part, which is the open part of the card. Okay, so that measures at 11 3/4 by 5 5/8. Here we go. All right, 11 3/4. So almost right the way across. by 5 5/8. So we've got 5 5/8. And that's the cutting there for the time being. So I'll pop that over there. And this is now the piece that we're going to work on. Okay, so what we need to do, I've got to measure all the way around 3/4 of an inch in. Now these will get, these lines will get rubbed out. So we're going 3/4 of an inch, and actually if I do it this way, 3/4 of an inch this way, which is there. And then we need to go 3/4 of an inch in as well. So that line there, and I line this up on here because it makes it easier to do that second 3/4 of an inch and get it exactly in the right place. So if I line up those first two that I made, and then we do the 3/4 of an inch. So those two lines, these two dots here are very important. So we're going to do the 3/4 of an inch again along the bottom, and again along the top. Let's take it off and do it. So 3/4 of an inch there. Now if I line those two up, and I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch in, and do it again this way, line that one and that one, and do 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch in, like that. All right, so now what we're going to do is just join up these, and that doesn't look right. One of those is not right. That's that one. 3/4 of an inch is there. Okay, so now we're going to join up. You know, I hate measuring. Yep, that is right. Okay, so now we're going to join this here, and I'm only going very lightly, and this one to this one. We're going to rub these out, like I said, this one to this one, and then this one to this one. So this here is the square where we're going, or the oblong where we are going to make our where we're going to make our circles or squares or whatever we're going to do. All right. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to score down these two lines here, and then we are going to, I've written it on here, come in 3 3/4, sorry, 3 1/4, and we are going to make a score line there. So we'll do that on the, let's do this first. All right, so to start off with, we're going to score, and these little marks that we made initially are going to come in handy here as well. And I'm going to have to stand up. Oh, there goes that chair again, because otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. So I just want, that one's there and that one's there. You get rid of the cutting blade because we know what I'm likely to do. And then we'll start here and we will score up to there. So that's that end. Oh, with this paper, we're going to have to be really careful because this is thinner than our normal cardstock. That nearly went through. So I'm just scoring lightly on this. That's better. And see how that one, it hasn't gone through, but there's a chance that it would. Okay, so now I'm going to measure in from this end. I'm going to measure 3 1/4. 3 1/4. And I'm just going to score down to that first line there. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same at the bottom. I'm scared to press on this, I must admit. And then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to do the same this side. So 3 1/4. Take that one up to there. And then down to there. So we also need to score. What was that measurement there? Okay, don't look at my prototype. That one there was at 5 7/8. All right, so then also we're going to do 5 7/8, and we're going to score through the middle. And then we're going to line up this line here, and we have to come in 1 inch. Okay, so that's at 3/4, so we need 1 3/4. Is that right? Yep. I'm going to come down here. We're going to turn that over. And we're going to go 1 3/4. And we're going to score from there to there. Just the inside of the box there. All right, so that's our scoring done, I believe. Yep. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut these 2 long lines here. So we know that they're in 3/4 of an inch. So I will now cut between those lines. So that's 1. And 2. And that gives us our little area for our base card. Alrighty, so now we have these 2 areas here. You can see that's apart. Okay, so now we have these 2 areas here. These are the 2 areas where we're going to, with this one, I used circles. So I'll do the same again. And basically all I did was cut them out with the stylish shapes. That's the biggest one, so that's the one I used. So I'll just do that. I'm just going to try and line them up so that I get them fairly central. We'll pop them on the die cutting machine. Get that relatively central. A little bit of tape, if I can find my tape. Where's my tape? I can never find it when you want it. Let's use this. This is low tack. Hopefully it'll work. So that is one side. And we'll do the other side. I think that's about equal. Now, I thought about this afterwards, and I possibly should have used maybe the textured notes and done them as those, but I had used these, so that's what I'll stick with for now. We've got those for something later. All right, now I'm just going to rub out my lines carefully. I'll probably use this as the back anyway. See how we go. So rub out those lines, rub out the, yeah, I'll probably have to because those dots have made quite an indent. I'm a bit carried away. Oops. All right. So now we come to the folding part of the card. So right in the center here, we're going to, that center section folds down into a valley. Okay, so that's going to sit as the outside of our card. Now these two, this one here and this one here, we're going to do as mountains. And this, hang on. No, hang on, I got that wrong. That one's the mountain, the one in the middle, opposite. And then these are valleys. Okay, so that side and that side are both valleys. And then we need to lift this, and this piece here comes out like that. Lift it that way, and this is why I was worried, because this is quite thin card compared to, and that comes up like that. So you can see that's what we have. Just hold it up that way so that you can see. Looks like a cup holder, doesn't it? All right, so I'm just going to make these a little bit sharper. And so they will sit up like that. That will go down. So you can see how that's going to give us our diorama. So when I put it onto the card base, if I can work out how to open it, there we go. That is going to sit on there like that. And we're going to be able to see through those those circles. For our diorama. Okay, and that did go through there, which is rather annoying, but anyway. Let's try and get rid of those dots. Probably something I can work on afterwards, but anyway. Alrighty. So you can see what's going to happen there. And I don't know if you can see how that has slightly gone through there. So very careful using the two-tone paper. All right, so that's what we've got. Now, we need 2 inside pieces. And the 2 inside pieces are measuring 5 inches by 4 inches. And they're going to go in here like butted up to that line, but not touching it. So as central as we can, we're going to be doing that. So let me pop that on there now. I can see there's been chat. Come down. You're too tired to go out. Ian's gone alone. Oh, okay. It's wonky like us. Oh, listen to you lot. We are all mad here. That is true. Good morning, Nicole. How are you? Sorry I didn't see you come in. This doesn't move up as it goes, which is rather annoying. Oh, go away. What have I done? What looks like a... Oh, yes, that does look like a face, yeah. Space alien. Oh, it's a very friendly one, yeah. Oh dear. All righty. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to place this on here about... Now, I could have used that side, but because of what I've chosen to put inside it, it's not going to work. So I have gone more with that background there. Okay. So I'm going to stick that on there now. I'll try and keep up with the chat, you crazy load. You crazy load. Okay. All right. So just a little bit away from that center line there. And the same with this one here. My goodness, I got the handshakes this morning. There we go. That looks about right. So now we have the centerpiece, which when that sits on there, we're going to see through there. All right. Oh, thank you, Roz, for the thumbs up. That's lovely. All righty. So now for a bit of the fun part. So what we need to do is we need to make a scene, and I don't mean make a scene as in, you know, on here. So I'm going to be using, I showed you what I was using. I'm using bits and pieces from here. I've done a lot of fussy cutting. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. So because I've used those circles, I don't have a great deal of room to make to make a scene in there. However, we can still do it, and I'll have a look at how I did it before. Before I do that, what I do want to do is I actually cut out, not that's too big, I actually cut out these gorgeous deer, but I've now decided that I want to cut them in that lovely, I could do it in gold, but I'm thinking I'll do it in that gorgeous, this. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So, let me take a piece of that out. I'm sure that piece is big enough. So those pieces there are the pieces that I cut out of the middle of that, that I did the other day. So if we don't need these long bits on, and it doesn't actually cut out completely. I'll show you what it does. So what it actually does is that. So it leaves us a base. Aren't they cute? How cute are those little deer? Look at them. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm still deciding. I think they will possibly go. I'm deciding what color to make. And I think I'm going to cut from here, make the inside bits. But that is just so cute. So we'll have a look at where we're going to put that in a minute. So we need to make some dimension, if you like, for the back. So all I'm going to do, oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, is just cut. Now, if you've got dies that'll cut this, I know that there are some dies that I could have used for this, but I'll be using those in another one. So that will be one of the layers there. So we'll be able to see we've got some hills in the background. And then all I have to do is cut that across there, turn it up the other way, and I have some layers for the other side as well. Probably. So I've worked out that these need to be the same length as those or very close to. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to round that bit off there. Okay. And then that should work. And then that bit there, and I'll have, so this doesn't have to be precise, but as close to as. We don't want it too big, so I need to cut a bit more off of there. There, like that. So that's one layer. So popping this back on so that we can see what we've got, we can probably cut a little bit off the bottom. And make it a wee bit shorter. Because we because we don't have a great deal of room. So that and that. So I just kept laying this on top so that I could see what I had and what I didn't have. Okay, so I've got that. So they can go down for the first layer. I'm just going to, these ones I want to pop up. So the next one, the next layer that I do is going to be flat. So again, and this one doesn't have to be quite as big. Again, just cutting like hills or whatever. And I can't do the same with that one because and then this one will sit in behind that one, because remember, I'm going to pop this one up. Okay, and then this one, let's turn that one over. Actually, I could turn those over because we've got the slightly different color. So I could put that one in that side, like that. And then this one in this side. All right, so this one I'm going to cut here. And it's going to stick down. I just want to make sure that it's going to go under just slightly. Well, I can always put those up anyway. And then this one here, I'm going to cut around about here. Doesn't have to be perfect, this. So that one's going to sit under there. And that one is going to sit under there. I might actually just trim that down so that, oh no, I can push it down. It's going to say so that it comes in line with that one. So those two I'm going to glue down. Let me put that back in. And I'm going to glue that one there. And then, so you can make these as hilly or not hilly or whatever as you want, really. And then I'm going to put that one there, and then these are going to sit below it. Now, hopefully that is going to show, yes it is. So I'm going to put these onto dimensionals. If I can find my, there it is. Okay, so I don't want to put too many on because I want to be able to possibly pop stuff underneath. So definitely to hold it along the bottom and then one up the sides. But I want to leave the top open. So I'm going to stand up again because all right, that's that one. Oops. So just be mindful that you keep this this crease through the middle free, okay? And then do the same with this one. If you've got, like I said, if you've got dies, now I know that the branching out has dies that would do this for us. And it's also showing how we can do it without the dies. My kit arrived today, my world card making kit. But I found out on the weekend that that Saturday happens to be the Saturday that I have to do my animal CPR and first aid. So it looks like I'm going to have to watch the replay, which is a bit sad because I wanted to do it live. Okay, so there we are. We've got those two sitting there. And now comes the fun part. We're going to decorate. Now, I've done quite a bit of fussy cutting here just to grab some bits and pieces. Oh, that's not what I thought it was. just to have some bits and pieces to put on. And we can have a look as we go. Now, I'm just going to pop my phone out because, hi, Debbie. How are you? You've got your kit ordered? Awesome. I wasn't going to order it, and then I thought, yeah, why not? Now, that's talking about kits. That's another thing that you can do with this. So when we have kits, quite often we don't use it all, or there might be bits left in it, or we don't finish it or whatever, so we have bits left. Ephemera is perfect for this. Okay, so bits and pieces that you get out of your ephemera packs, or packs with the push out dies, you know, the ready cut dies, absolutely perfect for this because you don't have to do it yourself. Okay, so just a thought there. And I had that thought this morning when I'd already decided what I was going to do. So I'm just having a look here because I sort of took a bit of a photo so that I had an idea. Oh, really? I had an idea where I had put everything. So my phone's not going to let me look at it sideways. So I'll just have to do this. So from this paper, you can see there's lots of scenes. Oops, lots of scenes that you could cut. So we've got the little deer. We've got these little areas around here. Not hard to cut out, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, little trees here, little one here. We've got one here with a fence. You can see I've been chopping about. See, even if I didn't want the tree, I could just have like this little pond area. Okay, now it's all in these tones, but it could be done in darker tones if we wanted it to be. All right, so I'm just trying to check out which ones I've used where. Now, was that, I think I put that one. So remember that the larger stuff is towards the front. Okay, so because as we look into something or look away from us, things tend to get smaller. So then I can't see which ones I've put. This one I know I put over here, but I'll just sort of put it there like that, or it could actually go further to the top there. And then I have this tree here, which can sit under there. And I have this tree here, which I can put there. Where did I? So these, I think I'm going to put across the top of one, the bottom of one of those. I did. Now this piece actually comes from the what do you call it? The other side of the paper, the pheasants. But I thought I've just coloured it a bit and put it there. So I thought that would look good somewhere, possibly down here somewhere. And then I have two little trees, which I can pop right at the back there. And we have, actually, that I had actually put those, come back. I actually put those up there, but it sort of looked like they were floating. So I can sort of still do that, put them in there. This deer here, I had just sitting underneath that like that. Now, what we need to do is when we're doing this, we need to make sure that we can still see through here. So we still want to be able to see what we're going to see. So that is going to stick there and there. So all this actually needs to come across this way a bit. And I know that little bit's in there. Okay, so that's going to, and that can actually pop down under there as well so that it doesn't look. Now what I'm trying to do is not have too much like this where it looks like it's floating in thin air. So just bringing that in, pushing that down underneath. Now this one here, what I wanted to do was bring in these deer. Let me pop them underneath and just have them, it's caught, just have them sitting like that, which I thought brought a little bit of, pop him down a bit further like that. What do we think? Do we like that? Watching Susan, she's did you see what all the stuff that happened when she was away? Wasn't it beautiful? Okay, so are we happy with this? We're happy with that we've got there. Looks like a scene. So I will now attempt to stick everything down. So we are going to have the little bits of white showing around the trees, or not white, it's actually and this one. So not too much glue, but just enough. I'm going to pop it behind there. Now we've got a little deer in there. I might just leave him out for a minute. This one I'm going to put in here. So and then we have these. So do I need, let me have a look. I think that might work. I might actually put this little deer. So cute. Might actually just pop him in here, just to fill a little gap there. Perfect. All right, so that's that side done, and now we just need to, that needs to come across a bit, that needs to go that way a bit. The deer can go there. There we go. All right, so this one I'm going to do there, so I'm going to chop that off. And they're going to sit, and I'll double check that before I glue it. You like it? That's good. As long as it looks 3D, that's the main thing. So these little trees here are actually little tops of trees that I've just cut off. They can go down in there. So, whoops, stuck to my finger. They're in the distance. I know that these packs aren't everybody's cup of tea, but I must admit I love this. I love it. So if Julie's still on, she'll tell you it's very reminiscent of where we actually come from, around the New Forest area. Okay. So, yep, this tree can go down here, and I've cut a, this one's a bit flat on one side, but I figured that it was going to be probably just out of view. And then I wanted that there with the deer. Let me see. It's just a question of making sure that you've got everything in some sort of proportion. I might stick that up there a bit further and put the deer down a little bit. That's what I might do. So pop the deer in first, in here. And I don't want to lose his legs. So I'll pop him in there. Nice stag, that one. And then I'm just going to put this across here like this. Makes it look as though he's a little bit more grounded, doesn't it? All right, back to checking it out. That tree does look a little bit. I might need to quickly cut something and put that side of that tree. I did actually stamp this one. I wonder if it would just mis-stamped a little bit in the center. But I could possibly put it. No, it's too big. Too big. I just need a small tree just to go on the side there. So this is all I did. I came in and I just cut around some of the different trees, and when you look at this, it's actually a scene in itself. So that's why I didn't use it as a background, because it would have been way too busy. All right, so now if I pop that in there, should really go further to the back, but that's okay. Nobody's going to pick me up for dimension, are they? It was just so that that tree didn't look quite so squared off. And if I haven't cut it, this is surgery. Card making surgery. All right, so that's our scene there. And now just to put these in, I'm just going to pop them down so that they sit there. I'm just going to put a little mark there. All I can see, because I don't want to. All right, so now we're going to have, and these I suppose would be the focal point right there in the front. It's gorgeous little deer. Let's pop that there. And we're going to put that. There we go. So that is our scene. For the diorama. So you can see we're looking through a peephole to a scene behind. All right. Now, what I want to do is, this front looks a bit plain, so I just thought I would put something on maybe those pieces there. So these are 3/4 of an inch by, let's use my little ruler, it's easier. 3/4 of an inch by, what is it, 2 3/4 maybe? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to cut just some little backgrounds. So if we had 3/4 of an inch, we're now going to go to a 1/2 inch. I'll see how this is going to work because so to pop it on there. No, let's go. Let's go 5/8. And that doesn't look straight in there. So we'll go 5/8. It's still gone. Look at it. Let's go this way. So we're going to go 5/8. And that's too big. Hang on. 3/4. 5/8, Lorraine, not 7/8. All right. So I could put those across there. So that was, what was that one? They were about 2.5. So let's do see if this will work. I'm making this up as I go along, so hopefully. Yep. So I'll put those 2 on there, and then I want another 2. What did I do them? 5/8. Yep. 5/8 by 2 3/8. So fiddly little pieces, but hey, I think it'll be worth it in the long run. And then I might even cut some thinner ones, but we'll see. So I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take that away so that I can see what I'm doing. So I've got to be careful, haven't I? Because we've got 2 different color sides. Make sure I go with the same. Oh, we need to put this together very soon. So that's 1. 2. 3. Now, if I wanted to get, I could actually put some other colors on the inside of that, but I think they'd be very tiny. That was just to give it, and I could probably put some down the sides there as well. All right, so now we're going to pop this all together. So these 2 edges need to go right on the edge. You need to give it a reasonable amount of room, but we do have to line it up for that center. So I'm going to start off by putting some glue down this side. Now you can use glue, you can use tape, You can use whatever you like. And I think in my head, I had planned to use tape and I've just used glue, but that's okay. So I'm going to put that there, but I also want to make sure that this center line is in the middle. And then I want that to come back to about there. And there's a reason for that. Okay, so that now this one is going to do the same. It's going to go on there and come back to about there. So we'll pop some glue on there. So just these end bits, nowhere else. And we'll pop that on there and try and hopefully it's going to line up nicely. And we'll just give that a couple of seconds. So what you could do if you wanted to, you could make some circles to go around the top. I feel like I really need something else in here, and possibly down the sides, which I might look at. Excuse me. If you want to, you could also like put something on the outside, which again, I would probably look at you know, doing something to do with the trees like acorns or something like that. Alrighty, so this, yes, that's it. So this should now, we make sure that these bits fold out, and we should be able to, making sure it's all close. So open and close. Those bits always do that. So just push them to one side and that is the card. So then we pop a piece on the front here. It actually, Debbie, yeah, you're right. It is a bit like looking through binoculars, isn't it? But you know, you've got this, the card, the standing card, and I was a bit worried about using the lighter weight card, but because of everything that we've stuck on it, it's not too bad at all. So there we have our card. I will definitely put some other stuff on there. We do need, this is the only bit that you have to remember to pop those down every time. So on the front here, I would probably cut a piece of that paper to fit. So this looks like piece number 2. I absolutely love these papers. And that part would be, let me see, 5 7/8. Okay, so you can mat it if you want to. So I'll probably mat it with the, oh, I cut all that up, didn't I? Let's see. What did I use? Basic beige. And I don't think, no. Let me grab a piece of basic beige out of here. And this this will also help to make it more sturdy. So the first one is 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So we'll just cut 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. There are so many possibilities. So that one's going to go on there with just a narrow border. And then this one is going to be cut at 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So let's go 5 3/4. And that is going to, gosh, that's a very fine border. I would possibly, would I do that 5 3/4? I'd probably make it. Let's take a little bit more off. I like to have a little bit of more of a border. So that looks better. And then that will sit on the front. And then you can make a belly band if you want to. So that's entirely up to you, but it is a good way to hold it together, because you could actually use the belly band to make to do your sentiment. So let's just pop that down and then pop this one down. It's quite a thick card, so it's possibly a hand it to the person card as opposed to a post in the mail. Okay, so, you know, a belly band, it's not going to go right round, is it? That's not wide enough. You could, let me see what I've got here. That's not wide enough either. So you could either make it out of the paper, which I'm not going to do, and none of this is going to be long enough. Let me just grab, what colour would I do it? Probably the early espresso. I must change that. I have early espresso next to black, and because it's quite dark in that corner, I'm just going to cut this the length of this and then work out from here what belly band I'd like. So I think I'd like it to be probably, where's the cut there? No, 2 inches. Let me cut 2 inches from that. So it's make a reasonable thick one so that we can, and then it's not going to go right the way around, I can tell you. So we're going to use, now that has to be able to slip up and down, which it does. And then we'll cut, let's use what we've got here. We'll cut something out of here for a sentiment. Now there's no sentiments on the front of that. So let's find a sentiment that we'd like to use. I have a few of these that I want to do. So where is, I'm just looking for my favorites, which are down here in my get rid of box. Here we go. The autumn expressions. I'm not really going to get rid of it. So I'm going to use have a perfectly lovely day. I'm just pop that on there. I will, so what I'm going to do is put that across there with that, and yeah, see how we go from there. So I'll use the early espresso. Have I still got that out? No. And stamp. Have a perfectly lovely day. That might be a bit crooked. Or is it meant to be? It was actually meant to be. Well, there you go. And I will cut that out with, so bearing in mind it has to cover that. So let me have a look in here. It's another one of my favorites, the branching out. Now, that might not fit. Is it going to? Do you know what? It just might. It just might. I'm going to try it and see how we go. Whoops. Don't side off. I need you to be right. Muscles, all right, muscles. Or I just missed some of the stitching on the bottom, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. And I'm going to stick that on there like that. So just on, helps if you take the lid off, just on both sides. And pop that across there. And then we can decorate that with whatever we want to. I think maybe a couple of trees or something would look really good, one either side. Let's see what I've got here. Could probably quickly fussy cut. I know a lot of people don't like fussy cutting, but I really don't mind it, as you probably gathered. Because it's so quick and easy, and you don't really have to put a lot of thought into it. It's just a case of following the So you could pop that one that side, and then what could we do the other side? I think I just cut that deer's feet off, but never mind. And then that one, that one could stick. No, don't like that. That one's not going to work. And just put another one the other side of some sort. Probably even the same pattern would be good. I'm just going to pop this one here for now. Like that, and then we can pop that over there. And there is our belly band. Have a perfectly lovely day. You can take that off. And then we can have a look at our diorama. Okay, so that's the first one. I have another one for you tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you then. Don't ask me what it is yet because I'm not sure. Let me come back up. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. I've enjoyed making the card, and I'm really looking forward to making the others as well. So thanks, Holly. I think Debbie said, there's going to be so much that you can do with that card, with that layout. You could do it in reds and greens and make it a Christmas one. You could, there's just so much that you can do with it. So that is the first one of 5. Okay, so yeah, like I said, so many possibilities. Thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate every one of you. If you haven't already, thanks, Nicole. If you haven't already, I would love it if you could subscribe. And if you want to know when I'm going live again, press the little notification bell and you should receive a notification. Take care of you and yours, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.